welcome back, my friends, to another rousing rendition of Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors, a Puzon Wilderness Buoy rendition, second production run, if you will. Before we get started, there was a time in this country where 22 veterans a day took their own lives. That number is going down, but the big thing is this: anything above zero is unacceptable. Vets, we love you. You have a place here. We're back to blue over here. Despite the objections of many, how do you do that, Scab? Well, we try not to break the damn law, and when we do, we feel bad about it. Finally, if you are an addict, never quit quitting. So, it feels like a millennia since we've done a video because it's been a week and we usually put out a lot of content. But here's the deal, we're back and everything is right with the world. Let me give you some specs. The overall length is 16.7 inches. The blade length is 9.3 inches. The cutting edge is 9.25 inches. Blade thickness is 0.23 inches. It is a saber grind with a convex edge, and as always, it is that Machine G10 that Work Tough Gear does so very well. It's SK85 with a 56-58 Rockwell. It's just straight up, say it with me, badassery. Now, the designer of this knife is Dave Puzon. Dave is an Army vet. He's an MMA fighter. He owns Positive Made Leathercraft. He is a man of conviction. And Dave is just, he's a good man. He's a good dude. I'm super excited about this because this is the first Puzon design that I've got to demonstrate. Now let me go ahead and get this out of the way. I am a novice at best, pretty good with choppers, but the rest of the stuff I'm learning. Here's the deal, guys. Nothing we do scientific. We just cut up a bunch of shit and chop a bunch of shit. And if you enjoy that, you're going to enjoy this video because that's exactly what we do. Here was my thought. When I picked up this knife, I love Bowie knives. I love Bowie knives. I love Jim Bowie. I love the whole concept behind it. I love the sandbar knife. I love the whole thing. And I enjoy people's take on the Bowie. When I picked this up, a couple thoughts went through my head. First, this thing is a tank, but it doesn't feel heavy in hand. It really doesn't. It fits very well. Fit, finish, all that, sharpness out of the box, ready to go is a 10 out of 10. Work Tough Gear does that incredibly well. Now, you've seen at the beginning, we just kind of blew through that 2x4. It's kind of a greener 2x4, I think in like 18 or 19 seconds. If you go back start to finish. This thing is an absolute monster blade. Now, here's the thing. When I picked it up, I thought, well, I'm going to do a little bushcraft. And then I thought, you know what? I'm not doing that. That's not, you don't tune in to Choir Boys Cutlery Outdoors to see me feather stick. One, I'm terrible at it. There's other channels way better than I am. And there's a bunch of videos with this knife of guys doing a beautiful job of feather stick. But that's not why you tune in. Half of you tune in to hope an idiot hurts himself with a knife. The other half of you tune in because you know we're going to wreak some destruction when we have a badass chopper like this. Now, this is the John Peters stab test. Let me tell you something. This is the best stabber I've ever demonstrated. I do call them demonstrations if you're new here. I'll slip up and call them tests, but again, nothing we do is scientific. Now, I purposely started the knife off like this. This is a piece of that old hardwood from like Home Depot or, that you buy from a gas station. It's full of knots. It's full of stuff. I started it like that. That particular piece has ended a couple of cheaper blades because I'll get out, guys, day in and day out, and I do practice. I make sure I'm trying to hone the skills, trying to get better at it. I want to be able to pick up a knife and do a demonstration that makes sense to you. And I want to get better at it and give you better and better demonstrations. Now, this is that old hackenberry tree. It's thick, it's dense, it's tough. And you see this knife making short work of it. But again, falling back. The other reason I didn't want to do a ton of bushcrafty type stuff is I have the smaller version of this, and we'll do some bushcrafty there. This right here, I want you to pay good, close attention to. Y'all know, if it's an old scabber video, we're going to stab some tires, son. We're going to cut some tires. In this one, we do two different ones. One, I do it, it's an eye test. All right? It's cool. It's cool to watch. It's cool to watch the deal. But it's also a great way to test out the tip, the edge. Does it hold up? Is it sharp? Good penetration? All of that. If you got to stab your neighbor's tire, a girlfriend breaks up with you, whatever. you can know that this knife will be good for that. I'm not recommending you do that, and let me change that very quickly because somebody will do it and I'll be in trouble. What I did want to say is this. You see how it blows through this tire. Now in a second, we're just going to stab another tire. Just straight stab, straight penetration. I wanted to put this knife through as much as I could as far as cutting, chopping, slicing. We do a ton of chopping and we do a lot of stabbing. I did that on purpose. Again, I have the smaller version of this where we'll kind of get down with the get down. We'll do the tri-stick. We'll do some feather sticks. We'll do a fire. We'll do all that. But I thought, man, with this one, this is my first Puzon design. It's just got to be straight up badassery. And that's what we did, son. This is a badass video. You know it. I know it. The knife knows it. The knife community knows it. If they don't, they need to watch it and find out. What I'm going to tell you about this knife is this. It's comfortable in hand. The G10, that machine G10 that Work Tough Gear does very well. And I'm telling y'all, man, they do it well. Let me make a couple of blanket statements here about Work Tough Gear, okay? First and foremost, I would bet my life on a Work Tough Gear knife, all right? I'll go beyond that. I'd bet my son's life on one. I'd put my grandson's life on one, meaning I would trust these knives to hold up with my son or my grandsons. I've never said that about any other blade. It takes a lot for me to say that because I dick around, I cut up a lot about a lot of stuff. My kids, my grandkids, Megatron, I don't play it all about. I'm just telling you now. For all my dear tree hugging friends whom I love, good Lord knows I do, this was the only live thing I cut down. Now I want y'all to look there in the background. We are in the swamp. So what I did is I just took, that was a nice stick, cut it down, and very quickly, and I wanted to show y'all this, because this is something that I do want to make clear to you. It was late in the day when I was out in the swamp, all right? The sun's going down and all that. Here's the deal, guys. We've had a lot of rain recently, and I've actually was blessed enough to find a couple trees that had blown over. But you see all that back in the back? That's ferns, that's elderberry bushes, there's vines, there's a lot of places a moccasin can hide. Get you a good walking stick, put you a good point on it, and hack your way through. Make a lot of noise. Just please be careful out there. The other thing, guys, ticks is moving. The big thing is this. To guys that are my age, guys, the heat's bad, all right? I'm out there a lot. I'm kind of acclimating to it more and more every day. But that's just kind of a little PSA. Please watch for ticks. Please stay hydrated. Please know when to go inside. Now, back to the knife. I wanted to show y'all, I do a lot of chopping out here. This is one of my favorite tests. Y'all know what it is. We hold the log and we just do some hard downward chops. We're going to chop this into a point. You'll see me do this a couple of times throughout this demonstration. It shows the control of the blade. Yes, it's a big blade. Yes, it's a beast of a blade. Yes, it's a sharp blade. Y'all seen what it did to that 2-inch ratchet strap? It cruised through that. This might have cut that ratchet strap better than any knife I've done so far. This thing is razor sharp, but look at the control here. It's landing exactly where we want it to. Good swings. Right here, we're going to ditch that. Now again, I found 2 different trees that have been blown over. We've had some severe storms and they've kind of cracked off. And when it gets that wet in the swamp too, sometimes they'll just come up by the roots. And I'd much prefer using that. So right here, you're going to see this. This was about a 2.5 inch tree. Right here in a minute, there was a 3 or 4 inch tree that had fell over. We're going to do some of this same stuff. But watch these bites on this, man. This knife just went to work. And right here, one swing, son, it's done. One hitter quitter. Now again, another one, we just kind of chop the tip on. I like doing that a lot. Yes, I can slice a little tip on, but it's quicker just to do some quick chops. Get you a good spear point on there. Now here's that 3 inch. Now, here's the deal, guys. This to me is more realistic. I meant to trim this part out because there's my fat ass just pulling it. But it's in there now, so we're going with it. This is that bigger one that fell over. Now, guys, what I want to do, what I like doing with these is I prop them up. I don't brace them. Well, I brace them, but I don't lock them in. I don't do any of that. When I'm out in the swamp, I try to hold what I can up. I try to simulate being out there. If I need to cut some of these logs to make me a shelter, if I need to do something like that or clear a path or do whatever. Like I said, this log had fell near Fort Scab Tonga Ogre. The tree fell. So what I'm going to do is use this video to process it up. That's about a 3.5, almost 4-inch log right there. This is the same one. I'm going to pick it up and show you. But here's the deal, guys. Right here. Watch the bites this thing gets. The design is spot on. I'm telling you. Awesome design. The build, spot on. Do I recommend this? You're damn right I do. Whether you're a collector, and here's the deal, guys. I am not a collector. I respect collectors. I respect all that, and I'm glad that they're out there to preserve a lot of this stuff. I use my gear. A lot of my watchers use their gear. If you need a good knife that can do a lot, this is one. I'd take this for everything. It's sharp enough. Y'all have seen it cut tire. You've seen it cut ratchet strap. You've seen it cut water hose. You've seen it cut anything that you need to cut. This knife has cut. You see it chopping. It chops very well. Very little reverb at all. I had no deflection. Now, a lot of these are shot at the end of the day. I've mentioned this before. At 50 and the life I've lived, my hands will go at me sometimes. I can tell you right there was a slight deflection. That's my hand. That's not the handle. This handle is contoured for chopping. I firmly believe that. It locked my hand into place. When I got my good grip, son, it went to work. And you just see the stuff flying, man. You really, really can. The ergos are spot on. It held an edge throughout the thing. I put a ton of work into this video, guys. 2 questions I get asked a lot. Is it easy to sharpen in the field? I believe this with all my heart. I don't believe anybody does SK85 better than Work Tough Gear. I truly don't. SK85 is a high carbon steel. Yes, it's easy to sharpen in the field. Can you strike a ferro rod with it? You damn sure can. As evidenced as what we just did. Guys, right here, we got about 45 seconds left. Couple things. Donnie B All Day's going to 10,000. Go over and subscribe. Get him there. My brother from another mother, Joe. He's off of YouTube right now. He will be back. He's working a lot. But go subscribe to Steel Forged and Fire Sword and Knife. And then, guys, my other channel, Blade Talk with Scab and Joe. Subscribe there for me. Guys, big announcement right here. Huge announcement, actually. Both Carl Ruger and Eric Hussein went over 1,000. Congrats to you guys. Love you both. Awesome jobs. Now, let's get BC Gerbs. Links will be in the description. Over his 300 mark. Guys, by the time this posts on July 2nd, I'll be live with Neves Knives. Go check me out over there. I'm Scab. You're not, and I'm gone.